Hello everyone, Spider Gamer here once again. Hello. So for those of you who haven't seen it, in my community tab, the book is out. The coloring book. Yay! It's officially out. There are 20, I think, 20 illustrations made by many different artists, myself included. You can get it to color in for yourself for just $5. I think the $5 price lasts until September. After that, it's gonna be $10. I just saw that on the website. But all the profits go to the PCRF entirely to donate to help the children in Palestine. So if you want to buy it, I'll leave the link in the description and also in the pinned comment below. I've been leaving the link in the pinned comment these past videos ever since I realized the book was out. But if you haven't seen it, I'll leave it in this one too. And I will also leave the link. You can click the button for free once a day to help the people in Palestine too, because even if you don't have the $5 to help with the book, it's nice to press the button for free because you're still helping and it's a nice thing to do. So yeah. Anyways, before I start this video, I just want to say I recently went to a convention cosplaying one of my favorite characters ever, which is Leviathan from Obey. If you watched my previous videos, you probably know that. I do mention him quite a lot. I'm sorry. But I was very, very happy and it was so much fun, and I got professional pictures taken for free at the convention, and I am going to put a few of them here in the screen for start, because I just thought they were so well made, and I just loved the cosplay so much. I was so happy. Me and my mom made it, most of it from scratch, and my mom did pretty much all the sewing, so she is amazing. I love her so much. She is fantastic. I did more of the logistics of it, how this design was supposed to be and stuff, and I DIY'd the accessories and that stuff. So yeah, I'm really happy with how it turned out, and I just wanted to show it because I'm so proud of this cosplay. It is amazing. I love it. So for this video, basically I wanted to take a little dip into r/TrueOffMyChest, but I know the stories there can be a little disturbing sometimes. So I tried my best to only get very light ones, I guess, so we wouldn't be absolutely terrified. We would just be a little... It would just be fun, I guess. So I tried to take only light ones, but I couldn't really read the whole story because there has to be some surprise in it. So if anything comes through the cracks, and I'm probably gonna edit it out if I find it too intense, but if it's not too intense, I'm probably gonna leave it in, and it's gonna be a fun surprise. So without further ado, let us start. From user u/randomlake7. My wife is insane and it made us 185k. That's a good start. So I posted earlier about how much I love my wife, and I truly cannot emphasize that enough. My wife is such an amazing person, and she has had to overcome so much crazy stuff in her life. The most heartbreaking thing anyone has ever said to me was when she once told me, "You are the only man in my life I've ever felt safe with." That is indeed heartbreaking. Oh my god. Okay. Anyway, when my wife and I first met, we fell in love so fast it was scary. But only 3 months after meeting, she came to me with an insane proposal. We had been discussing moving in together, and rather than renting a place, she asked me to buy a house with her. I was 23, just starting my career. I wasn't even thinking about buying a house. But she was so passionate about it. She had apparently been looking constantly at the market and she found this foreclosed starter home, but couldn't quite afford it on her own. We had literally been together for 3 months, and in most contexts, this just would have been a terrible and insane thing to do. That's what I was gonna say. Yeah, this sounds like not a very good idea in most cases. Don't rush into moving in with someone. Seriously, it's a very bad idea generally. But I was so in love with her, and she explained what a good investment it was so convincingly that I agreed. I put down 8K and she put down 12K, and we bought this place for 200K together. We got married 9 months after buying it, and okay, so you got married within a year of knowing each other. It's a little fast, but I'm not judging. I'm not judging. After buying it and had our first kid 12 months after that. Not only was this place our first home, we had many happy memories there, but we used it as a rental after getting a slightly bigger home, and it pretty much was what enabled us to afford childcare comfortably. We just sold it for 385K, 185K more than what we paid for it. It is entirely because my wife that we did this. She is so awesome, it's wild. Amazing. It's really those decisions that you look back and you think, well, if I hadn't made that decision, none of this would have happened. And it's very nice when that's a positive thing. Definitely. It looks like it's a positive thing, so congrats, OP, and your wife. Say congrats to your wife for me. She is, in fact, amazing. But to the more general audience, don't rush into things with people. That's not a good idea in general. But yeah, just try to be safe, I guess. From user u/adambitious2537. I bought my sister's wedding dress. My sister got married 4 years ago. She had her beautiful wedding dress made by a tailor she loved. Some months ago, she told us she'd put it on a second-hand website to sell it because she and her husband could use the money. I knew it obviously had a huge sentimental value. She was even planning on having it shortened so that she could wear it again for their anniversary. She was selling it reluctantly. I could see the tears in her eyes when she told us. What she doesn't know is I created an account on the website and bought it anonymously. I had a bonus last month and I couldn't see a better way to spend my money. I plan on taking it to the tailor who made the dress, ordered the changes she wanted, thankfully were the same size, and I want to gift it back to her for their anniversary in a few months. I love my sister, and I hope it makes her happy. Edit to add, some people are suggesting I don't make any changes to the dress. Thank you for the concern, however, my sister was in the process of having it shortened with her tailor anyways. But my brother-in-law had to stop working for a few months due to his health, and money started getting a bit tight. That's why she had to sell it. She could no longer keep it and absolutely not pay for the changes. I've arranged with her tailor to resume the project, as per my sister's wishes before she had to sell the dress. This is beautiful, OP. This is absolutely beautiful. Very heartwarming. I am very happy we read this. Thank you. From user u/impressivegolf8178. To keep the tears rolling in the audience, my daughter's friend called me dad. My daughter, Lily, 16F, has a friend named Kiara, 16 turning 17 in 2 weeks. It's usually one of the two situations. Either Kiara is at our house or Lily is at hers. They are very close. Kiara lives with her grandparents because, from what I understand, her dad abused her physically and other stuff. It's very sad. One day, Kiara was at our house while I was making dinner. She walked up to me and asked, "Hey Dad, what are you making?" I looked at her and said, "Did you just call me Dad?" Kiara started crying and seemed really sad. I think it was a sweet moment, but now I feel really bad about it. Here is an update. I saw Kiara in the bathroom doing her makeup. I woke up and said, "Hey Kiara, can we talk?" She said yes. I looked at her and said, "I'm sorry for the way I reacted. I was just super surprised. I love the fact that you called me Dad. You're kind, and you're kind of like a second daughter to me." I'm not offended, and Lily isn't offended either. And Kiara said, "My dad used to beat me, so I never really had a good father. My grandfather is very emotionally distant. You're the closest thing to a father that I have." I give her a hug and a kiss on the head. Then I took my girls to get ice cream. This is absolutely beautiful, and I will have to take a moment, a little tear break, if you will. But this is absolutely beautiful, and I'm really happy that Kiara found herself this found family. It's very, very beautiful, and I'm so happy for her. Thank you. Okay, I'm back, guys. Now, I think this one isn't going to be as nice as the others, but I think it's still gonna be light. Don't worry. u/Hollians gave us, "My 15-year-old just came home because a situation felt icky. As the title says, my 15-year-old daughter was supposed to go to dinner with some friends and sleep over at her girlfriend's home over the next town. Suddenly, she called and said something doesn't feel right. I'm coming home." She doesn't know why or where the feeling came from. Let's say it was a sixth sense. So I'm immensely proud of her. She felt something was off and decided to go home instead of waiting to see what would happen. I try so hard to keep my girls safe from the world we live in, and turns out just teaching them to trust their gut is what matters. I know this and always said it, but I wouldn't think she would understand. She did tonight and kept herself safe by trusting her instincts and calling us, her parents. Update. Some people questioned what happened for her to feel this way, but her gut feeling was right. Apparently a couple of boys got drunk and got a bit handsy. The other girl is okay though. Some other boy defended them and brought her home. Luckily, he was there and was against these actions, but if he hadn't been there, it could have ended way differently. Next to that, thank you for all the kind words, and I will definitely get us the book, The Gift of Fear. For all those people commenting on that it's probably anxiety, there is a big difference between anxiety and your gut telling you something is off. I've experienced both, as well as my daughter. We have a very good relationship and good communication. And if it would happen, it would have been anxiety or substances, she would have told me so. I know some people will be skeptical anyways, but if you raise your kid with respect to the person they are and can be, and give them the tools they need to succeed at adult life, you get a long way. That is very much correct. I very much stand by the message of always trust your gut. If something is telling you that something's off, if you're feeling something off, listen to your gut, okay? Because we have these guts for a reason, okay? It's evolutionary instincts, call it. I don't know. But it's very important to listen to your gut in these situations and always keep yourself safe. Remember to always do your best to keep yourself safe. And yeah, it's very refreshing to see such a way that the OP has raised their kid, in a way that the kid can trust them very much, and it can and it always knows that the parents have her back. It is very nice to know that. My mom is also amazing, and I really love her, and she did also raise me very well, and I do trust her more than anything. And she knows that if I have any problems whatsoever, I'm immediately going to contact her and ask for help, because I know I can count on her. So it's very nice to see. It's very nice to see that the OP has that relationship with their daughter too. And yeah, that's very nice to know. Sometimes on the internet you get so buried in stories about horrible parents that seeing this is very, very nice and refreshing, I guess. On to the next one. Okay. This family might not be as wholesome as the last one. Trigger warnings for the things that are listed on the screen right now, including life's ending for their own causes. If it's a way I can say this without YouTube censoring. So, heavy trigger warning for the next story. By user u/intelligentbison561. I let my daughter knock out her sister. What happened there? I hope this isn't a MMA toddler story, okay? I hope. At least they're. I hope they're not toddlers, at least, because it would be horrifying to just let toddlers go out in the ring, you know? My kids were over last night. Okay, so they're probably adults, which is still worrisome, but at least they're not toddlers knocking each other out. My daughter lost her husband 7 years ago to... Okay, yeah, no, this one is a little heavy. My daughter lost her husband 7 years ago to him taking his own life. My girls are 34, 33, and 29. Oldest we'll call Ashley, middle we'll call Mary. Of course. I don't understand why the of course, but okay. Maybe that's foreshadowing. I don't know. Ashley and Mary joke a lot. Mary and I had a long talk, and she had decided not to date and remain abstinent in her second life. So her life after her husband's death. Okay. So Mary's the one that lost her husband 7 years ago. Okay. And Ashley's the oldest. Okay. She has 2 kids and a kind of mean sense of humor. Ashley is divorced with no children. She jokes too much, but her jokes can also come across harsh. So, okay, that is a barrel of explosives waiting to be lit. That is a mean sense of humor and jokes that are too harsh are not a very good mix. If you can't be nice about your humor, maybe you shouldn't be using humor. Just sound advice for your life in general. And the ever so said phrase, I guess. If you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all, should really be in the back of everybody's heads more often. Unfortunately, we don't see that very often. So anyway, last night they were joking and Mary said something along the lines of, "It's the uneven brows for me." Okay, that is cruel, and you shouldn't be just pointing out your siblings' eyebrows like that. But it's gonna get worse because I read a little bit ahead. And Ashley said it's the dead husband for me. Again, the eyebrows comment was rude, and you shouldn't just point out people's eyebrows like that. But you shouldn't really be digging into their emotional wounds like this. Don't just keep commenting about a loved one's death to use it as a comeback. What are you? A cave person? Do you have no emotional growth? No emotional intelligence? Who says that? Seriously. What the hell is wrong with Ashley? Mary did not laugh. Obviously, who would have laughed at this? She just straight-faced and sat there and turned to watch the TV. Then Ashley was like, "Oh wow, you can dish it out, but you can't take it." No, you know what would have been equivalent if you said something like, "Oh, it's the lack of fashion sense for me," or "Oh, it's the wonky eyeliner for me." Something that is on the same level, something that it's rude to point out, but it's a quick fix, like the eyebrows. Not the dead husband. That is way lower than she went. She went low and you went below the Earth's crust. You went to the Earth's core on this one. Maybe she could take it if you had stayed on the same level. And they sat in silence. I left the room to keep fixing dinner, but I came back to a shouting match between them. My youngest was trying to calm them down, but Ashley said, "No wonder." Oh my God, Ashley. Ashley, I thought you were at rock bottom. Ashley, you brought a shovel with you. No. Ashley, get rid of the shovel. You don't need the shovel, you need a ladder. Please, I am begging you to just shut up. You've already done enough. Just shut up. No wonder the husband did what he did. I'm trying to censor this for YouTube. If you want to know the words, just read them on screen. I'm not going to say the words because YouTube won't let me. If he was hearing this stuff every day. Ashley, get rid of that shovel. I am begging you. You are burning all your bridges. You are going to find yourself when you're older with no one to care for you. Do you understand? You are being a horrible, unbearable person. You have no idea the fire you lit on those bridges. Nobody who has a peace of mind is going to want to be by your side if you keep this up. I would be surprised if they stayed by your side with you having said what you said at the moment. What are you doing with your life, Ashley? Mary looked at Ashley for a few seconds and then took off her wedding ring, placed it on the end of the table by where she was standing, grabbed her hair and started beating her. Ashley fought back, but couldn't do much since her hair was being pulled down. Mary, that is a little aggressive, and you shouldn't do that. That is aggressive. I would have understand one slap. But repeatedly beating your sister while pulling her hair is not really it was a spur of the moment thing. This is very aggressive. So I would recommend you calm down. She still hasn't sunk as low as Ashley. But that is very aggressive, and I don't recommend you do that. I was in shock, but part of me, as horrible as it sounds, felt like she kind of deserved it. Deserving it doesn't mean she has to do it. Ashley deserved it, yes, but Mary still goes in the wrong for doing it. Rule of thumb is you shouldn't really do to people what they deserve to receive. Like, if you think someone deserves a -10, don't give them a -10 because you're just sinking to their level. I don't believe that you're going to be okay morally if you sink to their level. Like, it's more about your principles than giving them what they deserve. If someone deserves a -10, I think if the emotions are boiling and it's a spur of the moment reaction, a -2 is as far as you go. This is still very aggressive, and I don't think Mary should do it. It should have done that. Like their Nana said, you play with the match, you just might start a fire. Yes, Ashley started a fire that engulfed all her bridges. But Mary shouldn't be the fire. The fire is going to bring itself in. Mary doesn't need to be the fire. Ashley is already burning all her bridges, setting fire to everything in her life. Mary doesn't need to be that fire. Finally, it was getting bad. My youngest was pulling her off, and I also started pulling her off. Ashley had a Stanley Cup that was now on the ground. When we pulled Mary off, Ashley got up. Mary grabbed the Stanley and threw it at Ashley's forehead. Jesus Christ, Mary. You might get arrested, Mary. Those things are heavy. She could have had brain damage, Mary. You would have actually gotten on her level if she had died from this. Do you understand? This is serious, Mary. Ashley is absolutely in the wrong, but Mary is getting there too. Oh my God. I'm sorry, I tried to get the lightest ones. This one slipped through the cracks. I am so sorry. I thought this was gonna be like an MMA toddlers, not this. Ashley fell down and lay there for a minute. She was conscious, but it took her a few minutes. Sorry, a few seconds. Oh my God. If it had taken more than a minute, she could have been dead. Do you understand the seriousness of this situation? They're both wrong. They are both wrong. Her sister took her to the doctors this morning. She has a concussion. I'll be taking care of her for a while, but that's kind of what happens. No, I don't think that level of aggression is just what happens. It's not. It went too far. Mary did go too far. If Ashley had received a very hard slap on the face, I understand. Yes, that is just what happens. But repeatedly beating her while holding her hair and then throwing a heavy cup at her forehead, giving her a concussion, is not just what happens. They were both very much in the wrong. I hope this one is lighter. By u/courage efficient 8264. I gaslight my husband when we fight. Please, please, please be a good one. Please be a good one and don't make me more stressed. This isn't anything crazy. I sure hope so. Courage efficient. I sure hope so. Just something funny that I want to tell people about, but can't risk getting caught. My husband, 30M, and I, 30F, have been together for 8 years. For the past couple years, I make him a peanut butter and jelly sandwich every day to take to work. I use Welch's grape Concord jelly. This is important for later. Every day he tells me that I make the best sandwiches, and I just say, I make it with love. However, when we're fighting, he always says that he can taste the difference in the PB&J. And I say, because I made it with hate. But the truth is, he can taste the hate in his sandwich, because when we fight, I use organic, sugar-free grape jam. This is the kind of retaliation you should be using. Not beating someone up with a cup. This is the kind of retaliation that I'm here for. Organic, sugar-free grape jam. I stand by you. Courage efficient. I stand by you. This is amazing. It's in the back of the fridge and he's never seen it. So it's what I use to convince him that he can't make me mad or my anger makes food taste different. I love this. Like I said, this wasn't anything crazy, but it's something I always get a giggle out of and thought you all would too. This is amazing. I love this. Oh my god. I stand by this. I stand by this. This has my seal of approval. Official Spider Gamer seal of approval. This one is u/married to my BFF. How much do you want to bet this is a throwaway? You're gonna see why in a second, because of the title. Okay? I married my same gender best friend, even though we're both straight. My wife and best friend, Annie, is self-employed and works freelance, and as a result has struggled getting steady health insurance in the past. 4 years ago, she had a health scare, and because I had somewhat decent insurance through my job, we said, why not? And got married. Thankfully, the health scare was just a scare, and we're both healthy. 3 years ago, we said, why not? Again, and decided to buy an apartment together. It's a small and crappy, but there's no way we could afford anything on our own. So it's nothing to really complain about. We have separate rooms and still sort of casually date, but we talked it over and decided to commit to being married. We love each other, and we live together, and we're happy. So does it really matter that we're not romantic with each other? We haven't decided if we're having children yet, but if we decide that, if we are, we're having them together and not with a guy. It's unconventional, but it's an interesting family dynamic. If you do decide to do that, please keep a blog of the process of raising that child, because it would be a very interesting read, I think. Or don't. It's really your life. Just suggestion. And also, if you do make a blog, don't put your child's face in it. Don't put your children's face on the internet. That is very general advice. If you have a child, don't put their face on the internet. We all know what happens if you do. We have so many mommy blogs to show us what happens. But anyways, everyone in our life is really confused about our marriage, and I guess to some extent so are we. But it seems like don't fix what ain't broke situation. I don't know what it means to be platonically married. It's like I don't know if the word still applies, but it's kind of like a lavender marriage, except it's not between between a queer woman and a queer man. It's just between two straight women, but it's still just a friendship alliance, basically. So it's kind of like a lavender marriage, but not really. It's the same, but completely different, basically. I know we're not gay, but we're also more than friends. I've honestly never been this happy my entire life, and the love I have for this woman pales in comparison to what feels to the ways I felt about boyfriends in the past. Before the best pal jokes start pouring in, I've never in my life been aroused by a woman, and I very much find men hot. Yeah, it's totally okay, sweetie. It's totally okay. You can have whatever preferences you have. Nobody is here to judge you. As long as they're completely legal and not harming anybody, you're good. You're good. I guess this is just my PSA to all of you that you can live life however you want, and there's no universal formula for a good life. Yeah, just nobody's getting harmed. Everybody's in a good situation. Do whatever you want. Just a very interesting dynamic you got there. And as user, I don't know how to read this. I'm sorry. You can read it on the screen if you want. You're not just friends, you're friends with benefits. The benefits are house and insurance. That's amazing. Amazing. Next story by u/Jack and Coffee. Ex-wife did something cute years ago, and I'll remember it forever. A few years into our relationship, when we were still just dating, I was doing dishes in our apartment while she watched TV. I sat the soap bottle down, and it spit out a bunch of bubbles, and she giggled when she looked over and noticed them floating around me. For some reason, that memory has stuck to me. We later got married, and we are now divorced. But every time I use dishwashing liquid, I squeeze the bottle a little to try and get it to make bubbles while remembering that time back in our apartment. Maybe not a typical post for here, but hopefully on topic enough. That is very cute. That is a very sweet memory to have, and I'm happy for you. Oh my god, this one's gonna be beautiful. I can tell. By user u/wonderfulminute31. I love you? Last night, I was trying to get my 7-year-old to wash his hands after using the bathroom. I was annoyed he didn't. I said loudly and sternly, "Dude, what do I always say?" Thinking that I always say is, "Flush and wash your hands every time," because I say it a lot. It's funny that you have to say it so often. But I get it, toddlers. My son looked at me for a second, thinking, and said, "I love you?" is so cute. That is so adorable. You won the parent lottery. Because that's probably what I say more than anything else to my kids. It made me genuinely happy that his honest answer to "what does dad always say" is "I love you." I do love you, buddy. Never forget it. And wash your hands. This is beautiful and adorable, and I love this. Oh my god. Do I need to take another tear break? I don't know. It's very, very wholesome. I'm really happy I picked this one. This one is slightly NSFW. I read it over a little bit just to make sure it was still appropriate. It is just slightly NSFW, but still, be warned. /painted villains. I found out why the Mormons stopped coming to my house. I live in a multi-family apartment complex with my lover, who stays at home most of the day when I'm at work. At one point, our door was getting knocked on twice, sometimes 3 times a day, multiple times a week. I hold no hostility towards Mormons, but it is kind of annoying being interrupted while cooking and working at 8 p.m. It was often enough that I noticed when it no longer happened. We are very obviously a gay couple, so I figured at some point or another they put that together and stopped coming. I was wrong. Turns out my lover, who is a, lovingly in their own words, built like a brick house, so they're super jacked, answered the door fresh out of the shower wet in one of my silk robes at some point in the middle of the day, and they have avoided the building since. I still see them in the neighborhood, but never on our floor. My lover just confessed this during couples game night, and I started crying laughing. It's been months. They never told me because they were sure they had stretched my robe out in the shoulders and didn't want to upset me. I personally think they look great in tight clothes, but I can understand why seeing a big burly ginger man in a barely closed, ill-fitting silk robe could get us put on a religious no-call list. Maybe it's just a coincidence, and what lucky guys either way. They never wear anything like that when I'm home. But regardless, it's so silly. It is very silly and very funny. Thank you for sharing this with us, OP. It was a good laugh. And you might be wondering, hey Spidey, why did you try your best to only pick light once today, even though you failed miserably at it because we got that really heavy one with Ashley and Mary? I'm sorry. But why did you try your best to pick only light and wholesome ones? Well, I'll tell you, my dear listener. It's because I found this specific story on r/am I the a-hole that I wanted to read at the end of this video. It's not horrible. It's not terrible like Ashley and Mary's. But it does have a partner being crappy to their significant other. And for the sheer sake of my nerves, I guess, not being too stressed today, I decided to go a lighter route for the rest of the video. So I'm going to read this one for you guys that I picked exclusively for you guys. Okay? AITA for ruining the banana prank. I, 30F, don't like bananas. I think they're gross. I don't like the flavor, the texture, the smell. Well, I, myself, Spidey, love bananas. I think they're great. I can understand not liking the texture of something it's very, I have a lot of texture issues myself, and I can totally understand where you're coming from. So that's mostly what got me in this story, because I know that texture things can be rough and not very easy to communicate, I guess. I would honestly love to never have to interact with one. My boyfriend, 31M, knows this. He's known this since we met 6 years ago. He thinks it's hilarious. We met working in a restaurant where I was a server / bartender and he was a cook. We both love food and in the hospitality industry, so he thinks it's ridiculous for me to have such strong feelings of distaste for bananas when we literally work with food in the food industry. Also, I have eaten / touched bananas before. Didn't like them. It's not like it's a phobia or anything, but by the sounds of what you're saying, it could be classified as a texture issue, like what I have. So it's not a phobia, definitely, but it is a serious thing to consider that a partner should have in mind. Anyway, it's not really an issue, as we don't ever buy bananas and have them in the house, but on the very rare occasion that he does buy bananas, once every 3 years, not even, he always tries to mess with me with the banana in some way. He'll chase me around with the banana peel, or leave the banana peel on my laptop or on the floor for me to slip on like Mario Kart. That is a safety hazard, first of all. You could slip, hit your head, and you could die. That is a safety hazard. You shouldn't leave banana peels on the floor. Also, it could damage your laptop, depending on how he leaves it on your laptop, so he shouldn't do that. And it's just straight up very douchey of him to chase you around with the peel. To be clear, I love pranks. Love them. I was all about the smoking toilet prank. We prank each other all the time. I just really hate being pranked with bananas. And even if you didn't have even if your issue isn't super serious with bananas, it is a boundary you are putting down. So it's on your partner to respect that boundary. It's basic respect. It is basic respect to when your partner tells you, hey, I don't like you doing that, you don't do that. If they can't listen to that, maybe you don't work very well together. I might be a little intense for saying this. Maybe it's not that serious. But if he doesn't listen to that boundary you are putting down, what other boundaries is he not going to listen to? It's literally just don't do the extra effort of chasing them around with a banana peel, of putting it on the floor or putting it on the computer. It's literally just don't do the extra effort it takes to upset them. And the partner goes and has that extra effort to upset them. Does not sound like a good partner to me, if you ask me. Today he went to eat a banana and I turned around and the peel was sitting on top of my laptop and I just lost it. I insisted he throw it out. I did not want to touch it or interact with it. He was dying laughing. Went and got another banana. Ate that banana on the couch right next to my laptop, trying to get me to come over and give him a kiss with a mouth full of banana, my literal nightmare, or move the peel myself. And I got upset and insisted he get rid of the banana, and just kept telling him that this particular thing is not funny to me and I don't like it. Again, you're setting the boundary, and what is he doing? Stepping all over it. I don't think... I know that there's the whole, oh, Reddit's always gonna tell you to break up over the smallest things. I'm just saying, he is consciously stepping all over the boundary that you are setting. I don't think you should be with him. I am pretty sure, unless you're a horrible person yourself, I am pretty sure you can do better. Most people could do better than this guy, in my opinion. He finally threw out the peel and said I'm being ridiculous and overly dramatic. So instead of apologizing for stepping all over your boundaries and doing something repeatedly that you've told him over and over that you don't like and you don't think it's funny, you even said it at the moment, and he still kept doing it, and he didn't even apologize for it, he's now saying, you have to apologize for it? So, Reddit, AITA or overreacting about the bananas. I just don't want banana pranks with real bananas. I'm telling you to break up. I am personally telling you to break up. Break up with this man. Leave him. Don't look back. Just erase the memories you have of him from your head. You can do so much better. And yeah, sure, it's just a banana. But it's not just a banana. This is just a very light example of what he is capable of doing. You can most definitely do better. This isn't to glorify myself. This isn't for anything. This is an example, okay? My ex hated bananas. My favorite thing ever to make, banana cake. You know what I started doing? Apple cake. Why? Because it's the bare minimum. It's the bare minimum. When your partner says, oh, I don't like this thing, you don't do it. Seriously. It takes, like, literally no effort on his part to not step all over your boundaries. If it takes more effort for him to do this than to respect what you're asking of him, and he still does this instead of respect you, girly pop, leave him. Anyways, and with that piece of advice, we are ending stories for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you had a lot of fun. I hope the stories weren't too much. And if you liked this video, consider please leaving a like. It would mean so much to me. I would be so super duper happy. If you want to see more videos from me, be it Reddit reading, be it playing puzzle, story-rich games, whatever, Lego too. I play a lot of Lego. Consider subscribing and hitting the notification bell so you don't miss my videos. And I genuinely hope you guys enjoy this. As for the pun of the day, we have a pun provided by the wonderful, amazing Zeno SSJ4 Hero once again. Thank you so much, Zeno, for always. Pun of the day. Jokes about German sausage are the worst. I don't know how to pronounce worst, I'm sorry. But you get it. You get it. I'm sure you get it. And it is indeed a very funny joke. Thank you very much. And I will see you guys next week. Bye bye.